I would say that the possibilities are quite much in setting it up yourself, or getting it from someone else. And fundamentally, I think that the things that need to be answered, whatever approach you decide on, is then you have to consider some key points in when setting it up. And as the first bullet that we see typically in organizations that have utilized RPA and start to like go towards an operations model connected to the delivery unit, is to get a very clear expectation towards the business units in how this will be working now in the future. And of course, we, for example, at Digital Workforce, we are an ISO oriented organization, and we use a lot of IT terminology and all of that, which we have noticed it might be very it might not resonate very well with business units. So you have to be very clear in how to describe the operations that you are having, and also understand what are the needs of the business unit that they want to have from RPA, and as they might be a bit different, the goal setting and so on might be a bit different than in IT. But so how we have seen that one of the most important aspects is to have a clear service model that you are able to also in a transparent way describe to the business units that, hey, this is how we do, this is what you get, this is what we promise you, and this is how you do the daily operating stuff if you have to place tickets or whatsoever. And there's another challenge that we often face when we, for example, go to a new customer. There might be kind of a lack still in the ways of owning production in a way in the customer's organization or in the RPA unit, and this kind of an unclean and messy production environment might lead to a situation that bots fail and they are hard to maintain because no one really knows how the whole production databases and so on and repositories have been built up like, and what is the solutions might not be following best practice, or there might not be agreed kind of quality gates in the organization. And well, the obvious thing to get there is then to build up a quality assurance model already from the design phase of the production of the delivery, and then clear quality gates towards when going to production and doing UATs and so on. We also see that having a clear understanding that who kind of owns the best practices is very important, but also who owns the production maintenance responsibility and is able to go in there. So we, for example, in our model, we have in some customers even structure where our team is the only one who is allowed to enter the production databases of the RPA to do changes and debug stuff and so on, so that we have a very clear model and transparent model between delivery and operations teams. And then as I stated in one of the first bullets, is this kind of the lost value of the platform and the automations there. And with this, we mean this kind of a utilization challenge that you might be seeing in RPA, that you have 10 bots or 10 RPA resources running your solutions, but you are actually just utilizing 40% of them or 30% of them. And as of that, it's very important to have a good focus in how well is the production performing, how well is it utilized, do we really need to buy new capacity to run RPA solutions in production, or could we actually just optimize them in a better way, use tools like RPA supervisor and similar to optimize production even further. And then of course the kind of what you, as in building up any new unit, you have to understand the cost and resourcing of it and how to build it up, and this again depends very much on the business requirement towards the RPA maintenance and RPA operations. And if the business, for example, requires that a process that has been automated needs to be up and running in 2 hours or 1 hour, and it has to be maintained 24/7, then you basically would need to build up a 3-shift system, which means already like 5 FTEs of people that you have to build up and also lead in a very effective way. And as the operations work is quite chaotic in the worst case and time, then it's very important to focus very much in the kind of personnel well-being and improving the personnel as well and their whereabouts. But these are kind of some of the areas that we have clearly seen that whatever mechanism you decide on how to maintain stuff in RPA, that you have to focus on and build up these understandings. And they might not only focus in the actual operations and production part, but as we see, it might be already important to understand these mechanisms already during the delivery phase, and especially for the more critical processes. If we know that a process is so critical, business critical for you, that it needs a P1 priority, it needs to be maintained 24/7, and it has to be up and running in 1 hour after terminating, for example, then it's quite clear that you have to focus already in the development phase a bit more on the process and probably test it out a bit further to ensure already there that the solution works well.